Good morning, and thank you for tuning in today. I have a very, very special guest with me this morning, somebody who has touched so many lives in a very profound way, and in the process, I'm sure, saved many lives. It's Lisa Franklin, who is the CEO and founder of the Alpha Omega Miracle Home. Good morning, Lisa.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you for your kind words. I appreciate that.
It's a privilege to talk to you.
And it is a privilege to be here, Liz. Thank you for having me.
The Alpha Omega House has helped so many women. Tell me, what circumstances and what backgrounds do the women and children that you help come from?
The women and children that we help usually comes from a place of homelessness or facing homelessness. And we at Alpha Omega believe that all women and children deserve to feel safe and have the stability and hope for their future. And so we'd love to partner with them and really give them that helping hand so that they can have a bright future.
And you help elderly women as well, correct?
We do. So our mothers are usually the ages between 18 and 28. The children are newborn, or sometimes the mothers are pregnant. Up to age 7 at this point, because of the way our program is laid out and with the actual housing. And then we also room them in an apartment with a senior woman that is 60 years of age or older. And they become, truly, they are roommates, but what they really do is become surrogate families.
Oh, that's wonderful. So many connections, lifelong special connections and relationships are formed at the Alpha Omega Miracle Home.
They are, and it is really exciting to see when our seniors come in, they really are facing, for the first time, thinking that, hey, am I really even needed anymore? Where's my place? Everyone's, busy, and what am I supposed to do with my life? And they really realize that they are so needed and so wanted, and we value the wisdom that they have. And it has been a beautiful way of having the children, just watching them run up to the seniors. They love waking up to them in the mornings and coming home from daycare or school and seeing that senior woman that's in their life that becomes their, we have a nana and we have aunts, and just according to what that relationship starts. But it is beautiful to see our senior women find their purpose, but the wisdom that they can share with the mothers and the love that they share with the little ones is just beautiful.
Wow, and changing their lives in profound ways. I have to thank you, Lisa, for what you do. I mean, I'm sure so many lives have been turned around by you and the Alpha Omega Miracle Home team. Tell me, when did you start the Alpha Omega Miracle Home, and what made you think of it? What prompted this?
So, Liz, as I grew up in a Christian home, and really never seen my parents really even argue, fight. I mean, I call it a Leave It to Beaver home when I look back. And I really just thought all families were like our family. And I know that my parents must have had some things that they dealt with, of course, but I never knew it as a child growing up. I just knew that I was in a safe home and that my parents loved me and provided and cared for me. But fast forward, I was 15, and I thought I was totally in love with someone that I would go to church with. And actually, my parents, of course, would not allow me to date at that age, but really found myself thinking that my parents were not being fair because they were keeping me from this man that I absolutely, really young man, that I thought I was in love with. And that turned into a pregnancy because we were sneaky and found ways to get to spend time together. And that actually took me down about a 12-year road of making some bad choices. I do have a beautiful son to this day that I would not trade for anything in the world, but it sure was harder raising him and him being raised by a single mom, and just growing up with me instead of me being able to raise him as a child. So there comes hardships when you are a single mom or a young mom. But I really believe that with God's help and my faith, that though I went about 12 years walking away from the church and the church family, trying to find love in all the wrong places, as you would hear usually, I struggled, and I had a lot of struggles. But when I came back to my faith, and really, I was always a hard worker, Liz, so I don't want to, I always worked. We always had housing. But back then, we're talking 45 years ago, St. Augustine, St. Johns County was so different. We could, you knew everyone, and you could find housing and reasonable rents back in that time. But it took some years to get back on my feet. Of course, I, graduated and started college and started working at the bank and working my way up. But it was truly one night when I was praying that I just asked God, how can I give back and what can I do? And he truly just placed on my heart everything about Alpha Omega. So I wrote down the name, Alpha Omega. I wrote down moms who are pregnant, children, and senior women. And I could just see the love and the wisdom that could be shared by that intergenerational group of people that could feel loved and supported and wanted and loved. So I knew it was housing from the beginning, and just started sharing what I experienced that evening with people around me, and over the years it's become a reality.
What an incredible story. You gave me goosebumps talking about that, Lisa. What an amazing woman you are, because you were facing a difficult life yourself with real struggles, and yet you managed to not only turn your life around and make a success of your own life, but then on top of all of that, Lisa, turn around and help so many other people. That is an incredible story.
Well, I have to say, Liz, that when God calls someone to do something, and I really believe this was truly a call from the Lord, placing it on my heart, that he truly equips us by bringing us the right people. Over the years, I just see the different board members and staff members and volunteers and donors who have supported us. So it truly does take that village to make any of this happen, and the support we have received from our community has been wonderful. I could not do it without everybody's help.
Wow. Yes, this is a wonderful community, that's for sure. You're listening to Good Morning St. Augustine. I'm your host, Liz Ryan, chatting this morning with a gem of St. Johns County, Lisa Franklin, the founder and CEO of the Alpha Omega Miracle Home. How many women and children does the Alpha Omega Miracle Home service at any given time?
Well, when we first started, we started with one home out in Hastings. It was a big Victorian home. So we started with that home, and it would house 6 to 7 moms. And back then we actually housed women 13 to 18. And over the years, we moved into St. Augustine, and we started with 6 apartments right there at 312 at Old Moultrie Road. And we started accumulating more of the units over the years as people would hear what we were doing. And as they would come up for sale, we would purchase them. Right now we have 21 apartments that we house single moms and children and senior women in. And then we are also in the middle of building a new campus that will have 20 additional apartments.
And Chris Shee, I think, will be playing a big role in that.
Oh, Chris Shee has done such a beautiful job in supporting us. I've known him, I guess, for about 5 years. In 2020, I met him. And Liz, he's just such an incredible man that he loves the Lord. He loves to share his testimony, and he loves to give back and to support nonprofits here in our community. And he has just locked arms with us and helped us in not only the building project, but also financially. He has been such a huge donor, both in physically and in his financial means.
Yeah, he just gives and gives and gives. One of the most generous people I've ever encountered. Chris Shee is an amazing man. You mentioned the Lord a lot. Could you tell me what role faith plays in the healing and the growth of the women and children that have been touched by the Alpha Omega Miracle Home?
I can, and I try, Liz, not to be one of those people that says God so much that it pushes people away, because we're supposed to be a light, but it's so hard to talk about Alpha Omega and not talk about how God's really provided. He again placed this in my heart, and He has been here every step of the way to help me in decisions and help us to grow and be who we are today. What we are a faith-based organization, and we truly do it because of the love we have for the Lord and to share and help the widows and the orphans. But our approach with our residents is a little different than what you may think. We're here to just love on them, and any opportunity that comes up, they're around people who really truly love them and truly want to see them be successful. And so as opportunities come up, we always, of course, are going to ask them if they want to attend church, and they can attend a church that they've either gone to before or a church that they feel comfortable with. A lot of times some of our residents will ask new residents, hey, come to my church. But we don't make it so mandatory that if they miss a church, miss church or don't feel like going to church or going through just some trauma that church right now is not their number one, our number one priority, we just love on them. And I think not pushing church on them or pushing God on them, but being able to share as they ask questions. And we do a Bible study right there on campus, and giving them the opportunity. What we have found is that they really, truly grasp the hunger and the love for the Lord when it's near them, they're surrounded by it, but it's not pushed on them. I'm going to say that the most exciting thing is when you find a young lady that will pray about something and say, oh, that worked, prayer worked for Sally. So I'm going to try that. And then they start building their own faith walk, and they realize that God has such a sweet purpose and plan for them, and that life is better when you have the Lord in your life and can lean on Him and accept Him as their Lord and Savior, because it's truly then that your eyes just start opening up to what God really can do for us and through us. Does that make sense to you, Liz?
It makes wonderful sense, Lisa, and it's a beautiful thing. I believe that God brings these women and children to you in their darkest hour, in their dire circumstances, and that's when sometimes people just fall to their knees and say, Lord, I give up. I just put my life in your hands. Show me the way, lead me, and help me through this difficult time. And the Lord and your team and you will just kind of scoop them up and take them under their wing and help them through. And they emerge, I imagine, oftentimes as stronger and better and happier and healthier women for it.
They are. It is exciting to watch them truly just start seeing God doing things in their life. And it can be as incredible as we just see miracles all the time, little miracles, huge miracles. I mean, you're surrounded by that, and you see and you hear, and then you think, wow, He does it for them, but will He do it for me? And then when they come across an obstacle, and it could be something small, but we say, do you want us to pray with you about that? And then they just start seeing it firsthand. And they're just in awe of how God truly does. He's not that big God up in heaven that doesn't know your day-to-day, moment-to-moment life. And He really does love us and care for us. And what a beautiful opportunity for us to just love on them and to share who Christ is and what a difference He can make in their life.
Absolutely. And you've made tremendous differences in countless lives. You're listening to Good Morning St. Augustine. I'm your host, Liz Ryan, chatting with an amazing woman this morning, Lisa Franklin, who is the founder and CEO of the Alpha Omega Miracle Home right here in St. Augustine. What kinds of programs and services does your organization offer women and children?
Yes, so Liz, we have, let me just first, I'll touch on our GROW program, and that's the program when they come in, usually they sometimes have a little bag of plastic bag of clothing and don't really have much to their name, and they're starting off fresh. In that program, we have comprehensive support such as mental health, transportation, affordable child care that we work with Episcopal to help with their child care. We provide life skill classes, Bible studies, and then the continuing education by GED or enrolling in First Coast Technical College or St. John's River State College, along with employment assistant and trauma classes. There's just such a variety of resources that they receive while they're here at Alpha Omega. Then when on top of our GROW program, and that accountability with the case manager to talk with them and walk them through the steps. And then we also, on top of that, we have our community diaper bank. And that diaper bank is for anyone here in the community, and thrift store vouchers, because we have a thrift store at 525 State Road 16. It is a large thrift store that not only does the funds that's the revenue that's provided by that goes directly to Alpha Omega, but we also can give back to the community with vouchers for people in need, and that can be anyone in our community. They do not have to be a single mom. So we love to help men also. We love men. So we also work with young ladies who are choosing the gift of adoption. We love to just be an assistant with them. We are not a adoption agency, but we love to connect families with the little ones, and then we're able to connect them with an attorney and watch as we support the mom going through walking through that option of adoption. And then we have affordable housing, last but not least. And that affordable housing we utilize as when our residents graduate our program. And then that's one more stepping stone for them to become stable here in our community.
Wow, that's terrific. What a wonderful array of programs you offer, Lisa. And I'll bet a donation of a bunch of computers came in real handy.
Oh, that came in so handy. So again, when I was praying, and you ask God for things, and just I just wish we could all have everyone on staff have Macs. They last so much longer. You pay a little more, but I was just thinking, like, Lord, I would love to be able to give, and I named off a couple people to also have Macs. When Chris gave that call, when I answered that call, and he said, "Hey, Lisa, I have some MacBooks. Are you guys interested in them?" And I just said, "Chris, you will not believe this. I just prayed last week for computers." So wow. I love when God just shows you, like, He cares about even computers for us. And then our moms will also utilize them, some of our moms residents in the program.
I call that a God wink.
It is. And that's why I say even our senior women, it's incredible. When we have an opening, Liz, our little seniors, they'll get together and they will pray and ask God for, to give us wisdom to bring in the residents that need to be here, and then they're so excited when we bring that person in or a senior, and they will, they just love on them as welcome to our family. And so, it sounds wonderful, and it is wonderful. There are some hard moments and hard days because we are working with human beings, but to watch them and be there for them during their most difficult times, and to watch them go through that and get to the other side and get stronger and get their education and help, have the help to bond with their children, because sometimes they don't even know, what that looks like. So just being that helping hand. But our residents, they do the work, and we are their support system.
Well, that's a tall order for anyone, and what you and your team accomplish is so powerful and wonderful and important and special. Tell me a little bit about, Lisa, your team, the people who are there every day and the volunteers, and also how can someone become a volunteer?
Oh, thank you for asking. The incredible team that we have is amazing. I couldn't handpick a better team. Their compassion for helping these young ladies is sincere, and they just do a beautiful job in loving them, again, in those hard moments, and not judging, but just sharing that truth and helping them overcome things. A lot of times they come to us, all of our residents, with some trauma in their background, so to be able to work through those things and love them where they're at and help them to get to that next place in their life. So that is just really wonderful. We also have an amazing board of directors that guide us and lead us and keep me straight and not let me, get off track on the vision, because I love helping people. So sometimes I'm like, oh, that's not that. Come on back over. Don't do the mission drip, Lisa. So I could drift off and want to do everything. So having that incredible board that guides us has just been beautiful also. And then our volunteers. We have volunteers that help us at our front desk, that help us do rides for our residents, that we have mom's nights. I'm thinking of a date night with my husband, I think. But those mom's nights out where the residents can just have that little bit of that hour or two of just resting their brain and having fun. So we have volunteers who will help us with the kids. So there's so many ways that volunteers can help us here at Alpha Omega. So if they want to be involved, they can give us a call at 904-823-8588, or they can go to our website, and that is www.aomh, that's for Alpha Omega Miracle Home.org.
And I'm sure that the volunteers just get so much from it, and it fills their hearts, I bet.
It does. I really believe that our volunteers really take the time that they spend with us so serious, like it's a job, and they enjoy the work that they do here, and just getting to see those crazy miracles that happen all the time here, and just seeing the successes when residents graduate. We do a 4-phase program list that is, it allows them to, it's almost like a high school. They have phases that they work through. They get to graduate, and then they get to apply to be in that next phase. And it keeps them focused on getting to that next prize, right? And being able to graduate. We cap and gown them in each phase. And give them a certificate of completion, and we celebrate them, and we let them know that they've achieved something big, and now they can go to that next step. In that third phase, they have usually saved about $1,500, and they are able to. We have 2 donors that will match their $1,500, so now they have $4,500 to go towards a car.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It is life-changing.
Wow, everybody needs a car. It sounds to me, Lisa, like these women are getting not only love and support that maybe they've never experienced before, but also structure and real-life lessons and advice and education on how to do practical real-life things that they're going to need to know.
Yes. It is so true. And I'll tell you, one of my most exciting things I had, Liz, not too long ago, just a couple weeks ago, we've been doing this now for about 25 years, and we have started seeing a lot of the kids graduate. high school that was born here, and it is so exciting to watch that and to go to some of these graduations. But even better is the other day I received a text, and it said, I don't know where she would be at if it wasn't for Alpha Omega, and it showed one of our babies graduating with their bachelor's degree from college.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
It was so exciting. I think the key is that I so love the Lord. I so want to be obedient. And do I mess up? Yes, I'm sure I do all the time. We're all human, but I just love serving him, and I love loving people.
You are living Matthew 25. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. As you did to the least of my brothers, you did unto me.
And that is because of the community here in St. Johns County that really allows us to do that. And that is my staff. I'm not the one that goes to each and every person. It truly is an incredible staff, the team that God really brings to me. So I could not do it without our supporters, our partners, our volunteers. So it truly takes the village. So again, I can't take any credit except for doing what God placed in my heart and watching him bring the right people. And that is just the truth.
What a beautiful approach. I could talk to you all day, Lisa, but unfortunately our time is coming to an end, and I don't want to forget to ask you about your upcoming fundraiser.
Yes, so we have a Blue Jean Bash, and we have been doing this for many years now. We have it, of course, at Chris Shee's Tringali Barn. And so we have a beautiful time that evening. I would love for anyone who is interested in attending to please give us a call. It should be going up on our website pretty soon. It is a night of fun. We do an auction. We usually have, and I'm sure we're going to do it again, have Luna come in and they do the asada, urban asada food, and it is just such a beautiful evening of fun and listening to testimonies of residents that's come through the program. So I would love to have anyone attend, if it's their first time or if they come and haven't come in the last year or so. It sells out quick, so please find out more information on our website.
And what is your website, Lisa?
That is www.aomh.org.
Well, Lisa, you are an incredible woman with an incredible story, yet you're so humble and soft-spoken, but I want you to know you are a superhero, and I'm going to buy you a cape.
Oh, thank you. I'll cover up with it.
You deserve it. Oh, my goodness, you've earned your wings 1,000,000 times over. There's a special place in heaven for you, Lisa, I'm quite sure.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. I always feel so awkward when people say that because I'm like, I'm just human and just love what we get to do. So it is an honor, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well, you make St. Johns County a very, very special place. Thank you, Lisa Franklin, CEO and founder of the Alpha Omega Miracle Home. What do you think you'll do with the rest of your Sunday, Lisa?
I think I will, of course, go to church. And after church, I'll probably go to the beach and hang out with my husband and probably some of the grandkids.
All right. That sounds like a great day. Thank you again. Let's keep in touch, Lisa, okay?
Thank you so much, Liz. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Good Morning St. Augustine. And remember, all of our programs can be downloaded as a podcast. Go to flaglerbroadcasting.com. Click on the podcast page and scroll down to Good Morning St. Augustine. We'll see you back here next week. Enjoy the rest of your day in our beautiful, ancient, historic city.